on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we got Paul George and Shannon Sharpe. Man, Paul George, now you know when Russell Westbrook, whenever he was let go by the Lakers, Paul George was a very big advocate for bringing him in to play with the Clippers, you know, because a lot of people, a lot of fans were speculating that Russell Westbrook's career could be over based off what he brought to a team. You know, it was pretty much consensus that he was a ball dominant player that could get triple doubles while being a turnover machine, you know, is how he was viewed at this point in his career. And Paul George was like, no, we would love to have Russ. You know, we're missing point guard, even though, you know, I feel like Russ plays the position, but he's not your typical quintessential point guard. You know, he's an athlete and he handles the ball, and so, you know, he makes plays, but you have to be able to live with the mistakes. It's not typically as natural as a regular point guard. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of chances being taken just due to the nature of his game. He sticks up for Russ because you remember whenever he went to OKC, Russ embraced him and they built a really good relationship. And that was at a point in Russ's career where, you know, after KD left him, after all of that, you know, whenever Paul George came, he had a chance to leave a year earlier, but he re-signed and stayed until they ended up trading those pieces away. And I think from that point, Russ always saw PG as a loyal teammate. So what does PG do whenever the tables has turned? You know, Russ is being passed around, doesn't have as many options as he once had. He thinks Russ can still play. He says, look, man, he speaks up, says, let's go out and get my boy. So they went out and got Russ. And, you know, they've been struggling since they added Russ. They were actually winning a lot of games before Russ came in. Now, you could say that's normal when incorporating a new player. And you can also say that Russ is done. You know, Russ has a negative impact on the team. You know, it's definitely substantial evidence that supports that. At the same time, you know, there's some evidence that shows Russ, when he went to the bench for the Lakers, he played pretty decent in that role. And and a lot of the games that the Clippers lost, well, a few, the ones that I've seen, they've been in the game, just poor execution late. You know, if they go in the playoffs and they don't play very well, I don't feel like Westbrook probably won't be back with them next year. So, but we arrive at this point, and Shannon Sharpe is under fire on social media due to the comment that he made today about Russell Westbrook. He compared Russell Westbrook fans and supporters to Donald Trump supporters. And I'm going to play that now. Check it out.
What I don't get is this Trump-like support of Russ. So he's been on 5 teams in 5 years. So all of these teams are wrong. So everybody, the Lakers, the Wizards, the OKC, the Houston, everybody was wrong.
You stopped me with, you got Trump and Russ in the same sentence.
But this
I know.
Accomplishing that?
Yeah, Hall of Famer, one of the best point guards ever. Not one, you know, player I think you could say that Russ is comparable to. He's just kind of made his own lane and been special in that lane. And you know, he's up there with the greats. He's in conversations with the best to ever do it. So just give credit where credit's due.
So Shannon Sharpe, he compares Russell Westbrook supporters to Donald Trump supporters. And I'm not here to have the discussion about the politics. What I will say is, when you do something like that, see, you take sports somewhere where it shouldn't be. You know, the things that the presidential candidates, the things they're responsible for and the ramifications it has on everybody, is far greater than anything Russell Westbrook, you know, any of his fans, that's just their favorite player or one of their favorite players or someone they feel like is getting done wrong in the sports world. And that's where it starts and stops. So when you start saying things like that, I mean, I guess it's not even a good comparison. It's not even nothing I can understand because it doesn't make sense. You know, you could compare him to someone else in another sport. You can compare him to fans of a certain actor. You could even compare him to fans of certain musicians, you know, if you feel like they're a cult type of following, you know. But to say that he's like a former president and someone who still has a very strong following and a movement, you know, where people are either strongly for it or strongly against that movement and that hat and everything like that, I think you go to a place where you shouldn't go with basketball. Sometimes, you know, Russell Westbrook says these attacks on him seem very personal, and I think when you say something that way, that's a little personal, just due to the fact that you stepped outside of sports and you made it as if his fans are doing something on that next level, you know, where it gets physical, where things get physical or something like that, you know. So I think Shannon, I think he overstepped there. I want to know what you guys think about it in the comments. Was Shannon out of bounds for those, for what he said about Russ and his take on that, or was that fair game? I mean, he feels like they are like Trump supporters. They're like Trump supporters. You know, is that a fair assertion that Russ's fans are like that, or are they just simply taking up for their guy because the media is dragging them through the mud? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.
What I don't get is this Trump-like support of Russ. So he's been on 5 teams in 5 years. So all of these teams are wrong. So everybody, the Lakers, the Wizards, the OKC, the Houston, everybody was wrong.
You stopped me with, you got Trump and Russ in the same sentence.
But this
I know.